What's up, Pirates? Wraith here with Awaken TCG, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 8 run this past weekend and some of the store champs that I'm going to or not going to anymore, and just give you guys a nice video. And then we'll probably go into a breakdown of one of our Moria matches from the tournament. So for starters, if you guys don't know, this past weekend I got top 8 on the Carta Magica Online Regional. I made it to the finals. I'm on Moria. I play a Perona in the finals, and it was a banger match. The stream loved it. Spoilers: I didn't end up taking the tournament, which is fine. I was already secured for my top 8, so I wasn't too mad. I was a little hard on myself for not winning that match. I had the win, didn't play it right. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I was running hot the whole time. This was the first game probably all day where my hand wasn't as perfect as I would have liked it to be, and so made it a little more difficult. And then store champs, I got into 3: Hawaii, LA, and Washington. I dropped from all 3 of them. I'm not going to no store champs in July. I just got my cereal, and right now the gym is a priority for me. I'm getting into the gym. I've been working out, and then obviously I need to pay for a bunch of flights for August for the '07 regionals. Pasadena, LA, Texas, and then September is Nats, which is Dallas again. So I have a lot of stuff to pay for, and so I'm like, you know what? These store champs are lower stakes. I already have my invite. There's no reason for me to go. Like, why am I gonna fly to Washington and go to Pasadena or LA again? Um, for these 64-man pods where it's like, it's just like you win a category, but it's like, you're doing all this for not even a big pricing, even if you win, right? And then top 4, you just get a Nats invite, which I already have. So it just doesn't make sense for me to actually go to these things. So I dropped them. I dropped all 3. Maybe give somebody an opportunity that doesn't have their Nats invite, into the tournament to potentially get them. Because I already have them, and there's no point for me to actually do these tournaments. I'm not quitting. I made the tweet. A lot of people were like, "Oh, are you okay? Like, what happened? Did you quit?" I'm like, no, I'm great. I just won a cereal. Like, I'm great. Like, it's my 3rd one, and hopefully many more in '07 as I continue to increase the amount of um, practice I do, and just I think the difference from before to now is just the amount of effective practice I can get in. Is like before I would practice so much, but it wasn't as effective, and so now I can practice just as much, but with so much more effective practice, and it just boosts my confidence, my effectiveness when I'm playing the game, just so many factors. But we're gonna go ahead and look at some of my tweets, and then we're gonna go into the quick video of our round 9 where we're just gonna dissect the Moria mirror. All right, so for starters, here we have one of our tweets. Our round split was like this. Round 1 we played an RP Luffy. Round 2 we played a green purple Dofi. Round 3 was a Moria mirror. Round 4 was a Law. Round 5 was another Moria. Round 6 was a Whitebeard. Round 7 was an Uta. Round 8 was a Nami. Round 9 was a Moria. And then round 10 in the finals was a Perona, which we ended up losing to. And so I say right here, I played around the 10 cost and I got punished for it. He didn't even have one. So GG's. So this is my list right here. We can talk about that in another video. I'm going to write up a tournament report on this. I was going to commentate over every match. But it's the end of EBO1, 06-ish. It's the end of it. And so a lot of these matches aren't going to be as relevant, I guess you could say, for the most part. And so I'm going to write up a tournament report, put it on my Patreon. We're going to go over one match, and then we'll be good for that. So yeah, I got a top 8, I got another cereal, and then this is where I tweeted out, canceled all 3 of my store champs I was in. I'm going to focus on the gym and content, as well as tests for '07 for the rest of July, and be ready for August. And then good luck to everybody competing this month. And then just a screenshot of me canceling, right? But that is it. Let's go ahead and get into the Moria Mirror. I'm so excited to talk about this match. All right, guys. So at this point, we are 8-0, and so this video is actually up. It's the whole VOD of the tournament. It's up on our YouTube right now. If you just go to our videos, go to the live section, it's the last one, and so you can go ahead and look at my whole run. So this is a Moria Mirror here. He wins the dice roll and he chooses to go second. I'm like, okay. As you can see here, I'm taking my time. I am taking my time, and the reason I'm taking my time is because I don't have a turn 1 searcher, and so I'm kind of scared of, am I going to get screwed over by my trash, right? Luckily though, this was my hand. My hand was Perona, Sabo, Rebecca, Hina, Absalom. So no turn one search, but we have the turn 2 Perona, we have the turn 3 Sabo, the turn 4 Rebecca Hina Absalom. And so I think, did we have another, what was that? Rebecca Hina Absalom Perona. Oh, and I think we had an ACOS. Wait. No, 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 no. We didn't have an ACOS. We didn't have an ACOS. So it was Perona in our hand, Rebecca, Hina, Absalom, and then Sabo. That's what we had. So we had no turn one search. And so I debated it, but I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter. I don't have a turn one. I have a turn two play. I have a turn three play, and I have a turn four play. And not only do I have those plays, they're probably the best plays for going first curve on turn 2, 3, and 4. And so at this point, I'm like, okay, my Sabo is going to cycle me 2 cards anyway. I can set up trash if need be. And I'm going to draw into 2 things maybe that I might need. So at that point, I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm keeping this hand. Like, I'm just going to do super pressure. And so me and Chris Hawk actually talked about this in the Moria mirror. Second is in general better, but if you hit the nuts going first, it's infinitely better just because the amount of pressure you can actually apply. It gets pretty disgusting. And so let's go and see how this game actually plays out. And so for 1 Dawn, I pass. For 2 Dawn, he goes brand new and he hits a Rebecca, a Sindri, and a Sindri, right? So 2 2Ks out of the way, a Rebecca out of the way, whiffs the brand new. So he goes down to 5 in hand, which means this Prona here is super crucial. So I'm going to go 6 Prona, and now he's down to 5 because the brand new didn't replace itself. And then he throws was that Absalom? Throws an Absalom into the trash, going down to 4 cards and then taking life back to 5. Okay, stay with me here. So his following turn, he goes swing 7, and then he's going to Prona right back, which is totally okay with me. This is 100% totally okay. I think I ended up drawing that Rob Lucci, so I just tossed it. I'm not going to use that Rob Lucci at all, especially early on. And then this is where it gets pretty good here. Obviously, my best play is Sabo on 5 in the mirror, meaning on his 6 Dawn, he can't double body pop something. He can play a double body, but he can't double body and pop something, which is huge momentum wise for us. We get to keep our board intact. And while being at 4 life still means if he swings at us next turn, we are willing to take that life because we want more cards, right? So I swing 5. He gives me a Helmeppo. That's completely fine. I go Sabo, debating what I want to trash. I trash a Hina. I think I may have had 2 in hand, but I trash it because I'm going to Rebecca anyway and, pick it up from the trash. So I go Hina and a Kuzan, right? So the reason why I did the Kuzan was, okay, on 7, I'm going to go Rebecca, Hina, Absalom. And then on 9, if I have a Moria, I don't want to play a raw Kuzan, or I'm using that Dawn to swing. So I just didn't find a place in this match where I think I was going to need a Kuzan. So just throw a brick out into trash. And then now I pass. Now look at my opponent's turn. He is at 6 Dawn here, and he has a really poor 6 Dawn turn. I don't know if he didn't have a double body or what the case was, but he ends up going swing 9, rest 2 for a hogback. I think he's trying to bring back a Moria, which is obviously if he doesn't have one in hand, that's an okay play. But for the most part, maybe a 2K is better with the amount of pressure I'm going to have in just a second here. Oh, you guys can barely even see his board. My fault. Okay, there we go. So he passes. He doesn't swing with the Prona, but now this is where it gets real scary for him. I think he's low in cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he's at 4 or 5 cards in hand. And so at this point, I'm going all in, just pressure. I'm going to get rid of one of his units here, and I'm going to go Rebecca, Hina, Absalom, establish 3 more. I'm going to have a full board to his 1 unit. And I'm getting in 3 swings. And so a Moria on his turn is going to feel insanely bad. So I swing 5. Obviously, he's going to take. I swing 6K, and I think he gives me a 2. Yeah, he gives me a 2. And then I'm going to swing 5 again. Oh, no, I'm going to do my play, my Rebecca, Hina, Absalom, pop one of his units. I think I'm asking him, yo, do you have a hogback in trash? He goes, no, I do not. So I pop the Prona, and he takes the 6K. So now he's thinking of a trigger. Doesn't get anything. So now it is his turn. Let's go ahead and pause the game. He's at 2 life. I'm not sure how many cards he has in hand. At this point, he's probably like at 6 or 7. two units. One is an actual effective unit, which is one hogback. He has 2 life. I have 3 life, an Absalom, a Hina, a Perona, a Sabo, a Rebecca. Like, do you see that difference? Me hitting the nuts going first versus him having a poor um, turn 3 um, feels really good going first. Like, this pressure, you cannot escape this pressure. You cannot escape this pressure. Like, he has done nothing wrong. You know, on 6 Dawn, he only established 1 unit. He could have maybe established 2. So maybe let's say he has a Brook or a Hina on the board. Probably like a Hina. Um, 1 extra unit. But does that 1 extra unit really matter here? Because he's just gonna go 5/5/5, 8 cost. But I can just counter, 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 or counter, counter, block with Rebecca. I'm still gonna have 5 swings next turn. Maybe I have 4 swings if he pops one of my units with Sab or with Gecko Moria, but that's just still way too much pressure for him to be at 2 life. And on top of that, I could probably just clear the Moria and pressure 5/5/5, clear Moria 5, right? And he's just in an insanely bad spot. And so this is one of the turns, as you can see, I'm fast forwarding it. He still doesn't know what to do. It's one of those turns where you're stuck. You're in a very unwinnable position, and you're trying to scrape the game back. Um, did he probably have a better 6 Dom play? I'm not sure. I think I'm still gonna establish 2 bodies anyway. Maybe go hog back, bring something back, play a Hina, right? Play a Brook, something. Try to get some use out of the 6 Dawn and establish an extra body on the board to help you out. So like here, what I would do is I would never play the Moria. If I could, I would try to do a cheap Lucci pop 2 play. If not, I'm attaching Dawn to the brand new. I'm attaching Dawn to the hogback. I am reducing one of the units. I'm swinging at one, popping another. I'm going in 3 swings at your board. I'm going to pop 1 guaranteed. Give me cards, right? Right. And so he's just in this real stuck spot. And so let's go ahead and see what he actually does. So he swings 5 on my board. I know he's trying to Moria. And so I'm going to pitch these 1Ks if he's swinging 5. And so he's looking at his trash again, and I think he has a pretty poor trash as well. And so he might not even, so he ends up not even going for the Moria play here. He's swinging 6, leader effect, hogback, he's going to bring back a 2. And at this point, he's in can I stay alive mode while honestly putting in no pressure, right? A 5K swing, a 6K swing, and then I think he's going to play a Sabo, right? He swung 5, he swung 6, he got a 1K and a 2K out of my hand, and he plays a Sabo. Did he accomplish anything? Not really. He minus 2 cards from hand, right? Hog back onto board. And then Sabo from hand. So minus 2 overall. Yeah, he cycles 2 with the Sabo. But he just got 2 cards, and one of them is a blocker. But obviously that's 2 1Ks out of his hand. One is a blocker, which is fine. But that's his whole turn. That is his whole turn. At this point, I'm not, concerned about his board. I'm not concerned about, I have a full board to swing with. I am in no shape, way, or form gonna get killed. So I'm going to just apply that pressure. If he's gonna take the 2 life and I'm continuing to swing at him, he's gonna have to use that Sabo, and I'm gonna get a guaranteed clear regardless. He's gonna have 3 swings, 4 with the brand new, but spread out over your 10 Dawn, that's 5/5/5, that's 15 plus 3 on the brand new, 18, 28. Divide that by 4, you're not getting, that effective swings. You're getting 7Ks across the board. All I need to do is protect out of one of those to win. And I think I'm going to have a Rebecca blocker on board, and so it gets even weaker than that. At the end of the day, like, I'm just in an insanely good spot, and I start off with the 6K at lead, checking if he has a 2K, and he does not. Instead of giving me 2 1s, he just takes because I don't think he has a 2K. And me knowing that, I'm like, okay, perfect. Let's just go 7s. I think I'm trying to save enough Dawn to where I can leader effect just in case if I need to. But he's in a terrible spot here. Gives me a 2 and a 1. Probably getting that off life. I go 7 again. He's just in a real rough spot. Yeah, again, he has no 2Ks, and so he just takes, thinking he's okay with this Sabo here. Yeah, I'm going to go 5. I'm not sure why he blocked it. I think that was a big misplay on his end. I know I'm not dying next turn, so I just shove here. I think he should have saved that blocker. Maybe he couldn't counter out the 7. Regardless, I play it safe here. Always playing it safe, right? No reason not to. Yeah, exactly right. Just get a 2K back in hand. There's no point not to at this point. Yeah, I can get the rest of his cards out, but I just win next turn anyway. Like there's literally nothing he can do to come back from this. I know it was in my hand. I think I had a good amount of counter. I have a good amount of cards in hand. It's like 4 or 5, and so he counters out 2 2Ks. I'm like, perfect, that's fine. I go ahead and pass. And then yeah, I think he just scoops. What does he play one for? Oh, Ice Age. Ice Age, Becca, Brook. Pops my Becca. He's just swinging 5s at me. And yeah, he just. And so he passes over to me with 4 swings, and he has 2 blockers, but you can just do the math. He has 2 cards in hand, right? So I just. I'm like, can I math win? I'm like, yeah. So, and he just scoops. Should I have swung 10 at him the previous turn? I think it could have been warranted. And maybe he doesn't have the counter for it. But at the end of the day, I think a 2K there is very valuable. I think it's very valuable. And I had a blocker up, so I know I was going to be very defensive. He was only able to get rid of 2 of my bodies, and one of them was a Rebecca, right? So I think getting that 2K back was the right decision. Obviously, he's never swinging into my Sabo. And then me effectively getting rid of one of my rested units and bringing back a Hogback standing means he can't swing into it. So he has well, he would have had 2 units to swing at, 2 5K units to swing at. That's it. I blocked him out because he was going pretty light on the swings, and so if you're going light on the swings and you're trying to use up the rest of your Dawn, I'm gonna go ahead and counter out. You're swinging 2 over, 3 over, I'm gonna give it to you. At that point, I would have gave him 2 units, force him to, swing at the Sabo. But again, even if he goes over like that, I have a Rebecca blocker, and if you don't clear that, I'm just gonna use it if you swing over. So I mean, I think it was checkmate regardless. I'm not sure what was the right play, if it was swing 10 or reestablish another body. But at the end of the day, I got there, and I think it was the pressure from Sabo keeping my Prona alive that first turn on his 6-on, him not being able to KO anything, and then me just going super aggro and then dropping Rebecca, Hina, Absalom, getting a full board, leaving him with 1 unit. It's just way too much pressure for him to drop the Moria, because then his turn would have been 5 Moria. I go 1K, 1K. Okay, Moria maybe clears one thing, but then now you have no defenses, and I have a full board, and I'm gonna go 5 5 5 5 5. Clear your Moria. You're back to square one, which probably would have been even worse for him. But yeah, that was a master class in the Moria mirror. Especially when hitting the nuts, it's like the game plays itself for you. You gotta know the lines, and so sometimes they're a little ambiguous. Like on 6 Dawn, maybe you have a Perona in trash and you use it on 4 Dawn on accident, and then you can't use it on your 6 Dawn turn, where you could have done like Perona Brook and pop something, but maybe you just didn't see the line. So there's some tricky things here that a lot of people don't see, but obviously I just and shout out to my opponent too. He's a great player. Unfortunately, he just got beat by the first curve, hitting the nuts, which is probably the better option. I think second in general is better if you can see you're going second curve. More often than not, you're probably going to win. I'd say you have a higher percentage chance of winning, unless going first hits the nuts, right? I think that I truly believe that, and so yeah, I just yapped, and I hope you guys got a little bit of insight from this match. I'm going to do my tournament report on this tournament here. I'm going to test Moria for 07 and test a bunch of other decks as well, and I'm going to get some high profile names that have a lot of accolades and that are really good on certain leaders to do more guides with me on my Patreon. the highest end that I can get, right? So I want to give you guys good information, and so subscribe to my Patreon if you haven't already. You guys are gonna get this tournament report out first, and then you guys are gonna get some guides as we ramp up into '07, some intros, some in-depth guides, and a lot of practice is gonna be uploaded onto my channel where you guys can learn a lot. Obviously, I'll commentate some, but for the most part, it might just be raw footage, and you guys can just watch our lines of play. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Like this video, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.